Man, y'all, welcome. Well, we got these conversations backstage, boy. Y'all be laughing. Y'all be laughing. Oh man, welcome to another
For
edition
real.
of the Elite Mancast. We apologize for last week. We had technical difficulties, but we here, we live, and we are in fact about this conversation tonight because it may happen to some family members of yours and it may not. And I pray that it doesn't because it is very hard on the mind of the person who's trying to take care of a person who doesn't remember or who doesn't have all of their brain cells live and functioning. So, man, tonight we're talking about Alzheimer's and dementia. It's pretty much the same, but with a couple of different, little qualities. But at the same time, it's something that we all don't want to go through, don't want to have to face with our parents or nothing like that. I really would appreciate if everybody would quit eating these processed foods and all of that so we can live
Mhm.
and not have that situation going on. But yeah, man, that's what we doing tonight, talking about that. So we got Mr. Michael and we got Dr. Oz in the building, helping us out tonight with some great answers, great information. Dr. Oz, what's happening, brother?
Man, I'm cool and just a ghetto child trying to make it. But nah, man, about the topic, I because I don't know anyone personally that ever dealt with Alzheimer's, but yeah, dementia because I had a guest, a client before, and it wasn't until later on. I mean, they was already older, but it wasn't until later that her husband was diagnosed with dementia. And it's like when I first met him, long story short, everything was cool, but I noticed that he'd eat slower, he'd just do different things, but he'd order like these big meals. And when dementia, especially when it kick in, they like their motor skills slow down. They forget how to use a fork, a knife, or whatever. So I would cut his meal in half, like literally, like if you order a chicken piccata, I'll cut it in like little tiny pieces, to go on his fork or whatever. And his wife would go ahead and feed him. And, she told me what happened to him. And it's like, all right, cool. And, he ended up missing a step, fell back, cracked his head. He didn't live too much long afterwards. But she always told me how appreciative she was because, I mean, they was together for like 30, 40 years.
Right.
So she
Wow.
used to always recollect on, their good times together. And she was like, man, you meant so much to Mr. Dennis. He would always talk about you. He even made the comment, he was like, when I die, you gonna marry that man, huh? And it was like, these people, yeah, nah. I mean, she got cake, but nah, man.
Right.
Oh
But I
wow.
mean, it's just wild. And I know of people who, they've experienced it, like with their loved ones and everything. But I mean, it's just something hard to deal with. So if you're not really a people person, I mean, dealing with
Right.
that kind of stuff is like you're pretty much dealing with a baby all over again. I mean, a baby wears diapers, so do they. They may forget.
Mhm.
Just pay attention to the signs. What's
Yeah,
going
man.
on. So I mean, Mike, whenever you start forgetting stuff, I'm gonna remind you because I'm gonna check on you, bro.
Hey, wait a minute. What's the topic tonight?
There it is.
I don't went straight to something else.
Yeah.
Yo, there's a lot of times when, people joking around like, yo, I didn't have a senior moment.
Yeah.
Only thing is, this is really not a laughing matter because Alzheimer's is actually pretty serious. And I did, my daughter's grandmother, on her mother's mother, had Alzheimer's. And watching this woman go through some of the stuff, it was like my daughter was basically taking care of her for a while. And it's a crazy disease because they start to forget everything. It's like they're talking to you, they don't remember who you are. They're thinking you're somebody else. The only thing I could say, at least with her, was that me and her argued so much that she always remembered me and asked about me, but she forgot who her daughter was. She could never
Hmm.
remember her daughter. So
Yeah.
it's crazy in the way it progresses. But Alzheimer's is it's a progressive brain disorder that it slowly destroys your memory and your thinking skills, and eventually the ability to carry out the simplest of tasks. And the most common cause of dementia, which is a general term for memory loss and cognitive decline, and it interferes with your daily life. And when it gets to that point, it's almost time to just have them in a hospital or hospice or something, because my daughter's grandmother, she would leave, walk out the door, and end up down the street and didn't remember where she was. Couldn't remember how to get home or anything. And somebody would be guiding her because they knew us. They would bring her back to the house. But it's not a pretty sight. And it's something that we all have to face because, like you mentioned, Keith, this processed food and stuff, I got a whole list of stuff. It's like food, there's not a specific food that causes Alzheimer's disease or anything like that, but the way we eat in America, it's like they say the North American diet or the Western diet as a whole contributes to Alzheimer's disease because we eat a lot of processed foods, fried foods. I mean, you know how black people are fried chicken. I'm not saying people eating fried Twinkies. Could never
Yeah, we
understand that,
fry,
never tried it. They
fried
fry everything
corn.
down in the South. Yeah, but that's what we're talking about tonight. And I guess we can go on and get into it.
Yeah, but
Man, I'm telling
on
you.
top of that, a lot of the foods that they serve their fried stuff in other countries, you can't go
Mhm.
to Germany and find what we have here. A lot of stuff we
Right.
No,
have here, London. Oh my gosh! I
hey,
mean,
a
they have
lot
even their McDonald's is healthy, and I mean to
Mm.
yeah,
see
for real.
the portion of garbage that they put in their food, and actually every McDonald's supposed to have like a sign up there somewhere in their restaurant that states, you know, it's like a warning, like a hazard, saying, all the chemicals that they use in their food. It's almost like 50-50, like 50% food, 50% chemicals. But they're supposed to have a sign
Hmm.
there. There's only one McDonald's that still have it, and it's out there in California.
Mm.
Wow.
But it's supposed to have a warning, like a big ass list of, just, hey, we know you're eating it, but there's a chance that you may, blah blah blah. Kind of like people that eat raw oysters or eat their
Right.
steaks
Hmm.
like blue. So,
Man. Yeah, they should.
Yeah.
You see, Chick-fil-A, they took their warning labels off of the internet, bro. They took
yeah.
their ingredients off of the internet because of that.
Mhm.
Because people realize
Yeah.
that Chick-fil-A is not really a healthy spot. But
KFC
Nope.
with
had to do the same thing. It used to be called
mm,
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
right,
When they stopped using
Hmm.
real chicken, they had KFC.
right,
Yeah.
man.
And it's sad. And it's like a lot of countries they won't even import. They don't import American beef and quite a few other things that we eat here. They won't even let it into the country.
Right.
They
So
shouldn't. Yeah, so that's
yeah,
why I
and
always
they are
try to
much
give.
healthier.
That's why I always try to explain to people the reasoning because I'm not saying this is a core reasoning behind Alzheimer or dementia, but it is a big factor because
Yeah.
because of the brain cells are weakening behind some of these cheeses, definitely behind the red meats, and all the pesticides that's on the food. So once you find
Yeah.
yourself not remembering something, that's because you have too much sugar in your diet.
Yeah.
We don't
Hmm.
understand that the sugar crystallizes in our body, and then we can't even digest it. We can't even get it out of our system, so it starts to clog the arteries. It starts to crystallize inside of the arteries, and then that slows down the bloodstream. And then now, if you don't get a
Hmm.
great blood flow, now your brain is not functioning properly. That's what we're speaking about tonight is about Alzheimer's and dementia because you can't have functioning brain cells. And then they try to always say they don't have a cure for something until somebody exposes it. That's what kills me.
Yeah.
Then we have, Dr. Yaki and we have Dr. Bobby Price. They expose the information and then people, oh, well, you can cure this. Now all of a sudden people talking about you can cure cancer. You've been able to cure
Yeah.
cancer because we have cancer cells in our bodies. And if you're a real doctor, you realize that you got cancerous cells in your body just off the real. This is not about a disease. It's about just your body is cancerous.
Hmm.
And cancer, what Yaki has spoken about, he says cancer has never killed anybody. It's the treatment of cancer that kills the people. Because you putting radiation in
Right.
bodies, you putting these gases off in somebody's body. Who's gonna live off? Your body can't. We our bodies can't digest everything. It just can't fix
Right.
everything. But if you
Exactly.
overdo it, then you start to lose your memory. You start to weaken the cells. Now your cells that can't grow back, they start to bunch together. Now the cancer is getting bigger. Now it's like it's a ripple down effect of everything that we grow, that we thinking we're growing for the good. That's why they try to put. That's why they make these chickens bad, because they say black people eat a lot of chicken, so we're gonna make these chickens bad. That's why we're gonna
Yeah,
make this
Hmm.
beef bad. That's why we're gonna make everything this. And it's not targeted to black people, but I'm just saying it's targeted to people who are not conscious and aware of what's going on in their environment.
right.
So we got the
Right.
principles of Alzheimer's. That's when the changes start to occur in the brain, but no symptoms are noted. So when you
Yeah,
start to see
Right.
people just be looking, the elderly, they start looking, just looking into space. There's some symptoms there, but they still see they still know information, but they don't. Their brain is starting to is jiggling a little bit. So we have to realize
Right.
that when you got a parent, if your parents are still alive, always give them some play the puzzles, do puzzles with them, do some
Yeah.
jigsaws with them, do the puzzles, Scrabble, things like this right here can help your parents, your grandparents, help them from not getting dementia, from not getting
Right.
Alzheimer's. I'm not saying it might not happen, but at least you can help
It
them
slows
not
it
to get
down.
it.
one
Right.
game I
Right.
heard that really worked. You heard me,
What's
King?
Huh?
that?
Oh, one game that really helps. When you said play games with them, hide their dentures. So I don't even remember where they at. They gonna go everywhere looking like they
Damn
gonna start
fool
checking your
right
Hmm.
there,
pockets.
man. Hide the dishes, man. Hide
Yeah,
the
Tell them
dishes.
we having steak for dinner.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
You got a
But
gum meeting. You got a gum that
Well,
meeting, baby.
put that stuff in the blender. But now I'm glad you said
yeah, for
something
real.
because when it comes to your body, um, your human body is built so it can recreate, like it does everything. It can heal itself, right? So even, and I know personally, like with myself, like if I'm at work and I get a burn off, I go to the barber and he's shaving my beard and he accidentally nicked me. And it's like a little blood to come out and then it stops. And he's like, "Are you probably you don't drink a lot, do you?" I'm like, "Nah." It was like, "Well, I can tell because some people whenever they bleed or get nicked, they just continue
Hmm.
to bleed because their blood is supposed to coagulate and just gel up and form and stop the blood. Well, stop the bleeding."
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like some people that stuff don't happen to. It's like, man, dog, you bruised yourself hard. Like, what happened? You still bleeding 10 minutes later. Like,
Hmm.
so, but I
Nah,
mean,
that
your
makes
body is
sense
built
too,
to
bro.
like condition itself. So, I mean, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Cancer, that's in everyone. And that's why some people, like, they'll discover it kind of early and then some of them later on in life.
Right.
Because you can go 50 some years totally healthy, then all of a sudden, cancer, stage 3 cancer, like,
Right.
whatever. But,
Yeah, because a lot of times we don't go to the doctor unless something wrong with us.
right.
Yeah.
We should always get our monthly checkups, because it's like when AIDS first came out, you go 5 years, 10 years, now you got AIDS, you got full blown AIDS, and you trying to figure out, man, I ain't gay. No, but your wife probably slept with one of them homosexual dudes who did like other men, or
Uh-huh.
however they contract that disease. But you know what I'm saying? It's
Hmm.
just the fact of you never know about people unless you are part of that. You got to be involved in them like that. But we really just have to pay attention to these ailments, man. So we got mild uh, cognitive impairment, and this is the second phase of Alzheimer's. So this is memory
Mm-hmm.
changes that are subtle, but it does not affect their activity.
Mm-hmm.
Forgetful about recent things and may feel like they can't clearly think clearly. So this lasts for like several years. So when you find yourself having memory, what do they say, memory changes that are subtle, but it doesn't affect their
Right.
activities, but you still are forgetful about, recent activities. You like, and you don't
Yep.
smoke no weed, so you got to start paying attention. Like, okay, let me go to the doctor and see if these cells are repairing themselves. But what I realized that when I was eating just nothing but like fruits every single day, my numbers was down on my I can't never say this word. Uh, globulin or whatever this is. I can't think of it. I can't say
The
it, y'all. I
globin,
just
the
globulin.
hemoglobin, you mean?
Yeah. Hemoglobin. Yeah, something like that. But the numbers was down. But then when I started eating bread and eating rice and all of that, the numbers went back
Yeah,
up.
it's right back up. Yep.
So now I just done took the sugar out of my diet. I don't eat the bread. I ate some bread the other day because I was hungry. But
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't feel like going to the store. But I went and got me some cherries, y'all. I went and got some cherries, got me some watermelon and stuff. So these are my snacks at night, man. This is my night snacks. I eat lunch about 2 o'clock, and I get the plant-based meats, the veggies, the broccolis. I try to do more greens than I do anything, but I do a lot of bell peppers. So we just
Yeah.
have to find what works for us. And then another thing I want to say too is find out your blood type so you'll know what diet works for you. Because we
Yeah.
can't
Mm-hmm.
just go, everybody's diet is not going to be the same. Sometimes
Right.
just because of your blood type, it's like a young lady I had met over the phone. She was explaining to us that watermelon, she couldn't have watermelon because it wasn't good for her blood type, her body. I'm like, watermelon? She said, yeah, watermelon. It messed me up. I never understood that one. But yeah, it's really something that we have to really start thinking about is our blood type. Find out the blood type and find out what works for your system.
Mhm.
You know,
This is true. Yeah, this
but
is
that was number two. Yeah.
right. MCI.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead, you can continue. You're on the roll.
Okay. Okay, I'm on the road. I got you
Mhm.
then. So we got mild Alzheimer's, is which the earliest stages is
Mm-hmm.
this right here. You got it's typically when it's diagnosed. You got mild forgetfulness that is noted by others. So when other people start to recognize, like you really can't remember that. So then you have to start really paying attention. So you forgetfulness
Right.
starting to affect the functionings of your day to day. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
that's another thing we have to watch out for. And still can function and be independent, but should consider end life caring, like for as like get you a nurse or something like that. So the stages
Right.
of this, what we're speaking about is Alzheimer's, not dementia, but they're saying pretty much the same thing. So we're looking at these steps that you should be paying attention to as far as your people, your grandparents, your mother, father, whatnot. Always
Or
just
yourself.
have them tough conversations with them before it's time, because I didn't realize that my mother just passed because she had blood clot, but she was a healthy woman. She didn't drink, she didn't smoke, nothing. But
Mm.
just because she was having these surgeries and then she's sitting around not exercising, not taking them walks like she was supposed to and doing all of that, blood clot got the best of her and she passed with that. So that's why I'm
Mm.
always mindful of exercising every day. So I'm
Yeah.
always mindful of what I want to put inside of my body, because any given time, you don't know. It could be your
Yeah.
last day tomorrow. You don't know. So why not live today as if I want to be the healthiest person. Just come up with a list of things that you want to be or that you want to become, and start to work towards those things, so we don't have to be looking at you with a nurse walking around with a nurse because you can't remember how to get home, or if you can't
Right.
remember how to tie your shoe or or what clothes you should wear and which season you should wear them in, because you might have somebody coming out in a fur coat and it's the middle of the summer, but their mindset is not cognitive enough
Mm-hmm.
to know the seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
we have to start paying attention to our grandparents, and don't allow our grandparents just to sit around and do nothing. Start hanging out with
Right.
them, take them for walks, and grandma, let's go. If they don't want to do it, you'd be like, hey, grandma, let's just go in the backyard and just stand around for me. Just do that. Okay, baby. Grandparents, they get set in their ways. We know that. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? But we do need to sometimes take that initiative to say, hey, grandma, come on. Let me go take me out. Let me take you for a ride. And then tell her it's drugs in the trunk, and then tell her the police chasing. So we
We gotta go.
you gotta go, grandma. Y'all seen that one dude? He did that to his mom. Oh, I think it was on
um,
Instagram or something, man. That was too funny. He
Wow.
like, come on, I ain't going back to jail. We gotta get rid of this. But that was too funny. But so this phase of the early stages, it lasts for a couple of years, and these are the stages. These are things that we really just should be paying attention to in our parents and our grandparents, if they starting to forget. Um, if they started to forget names, if they start to forget,
Mm-hmm.
like if they go outside, just want to go walk and they can't remember how to get home. Those are some stages to where we really need to start paying attention, man. We really need to figure out where we're gonna get the nurse home care, because you stop your life helping them with theirs. Now you become a patient.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Um,
You know.
Yep.
I had an event 2 weeks ago, and it was in a retirement like neighborhood, and it's like upper class. And this woman, she came
Mm-hmm.
out a food truck, and I'm just looking at it because she was just posted up. I'm like, "How you doing, man? Can I help you?" I was waiting on my hot dog. I'm like, I'm not serving hot dogs.
Hmm.
Oh, okay then. And then she just stood there, so someone else just went and got her a chair. And I'm like, yo, who is this? Like, and it's like, then I don't like to use the word handlers, but her nurse and some other people walked over there. They got her, but I'm like, yo, nobody out here even serving hot dogs, man. But all right.
Right.
I spoke to somebody else. She just sat down and started rambling about, thinking I was her nephew. I'm
Mm.
not white, but she told me, remember when you like, ma'am? No. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's kind of cute when they do it, but I'm like, damn, okay, because they say
Yeah.
your memory is like one of the last things to go. I'm like,
Right.
Yeah.
Or it might be the first thing. You just got
yeah,
to
yeah,
depend on the situation.
Yeah. In some cases,
Uh-huh.
especially nowadays with all the foods and stuff, the chemicals, everything. I was listening to this woman speak earlier today. She was talking about even in the toilet tissue, the chemicals in the toilet tissue.
Yeah,
You
you
got
have
to
to look at that.
detox your body just after you go use the bathroom. Now
Right.
you it's crazy because you go into you got the detox, but then you got to wipe.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's like it's never ending.
you got to read the
Yeah, that's
chemicals
what.
that's in those wipes, like
Yeah.
Yeah,
the stuff, and then they
for
have
real.
blue wipes for guys, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah. And so but that's very important too, though, man. Like the lotions that we use, like
Yep.
toxic chemicals don't just come from the food. It does come from lotions, the shampoos,
yeah,
things like that.
From
That's why
the
they're
air.
starting to. Have you ever seen? Well, I know everybody. Some people done seen the body washes now that are more more fruit,
yeah,
cucumbers. They
Hmm.
got watermelons. That way you're putting natural things on your body
and just like they have
Right.
instead of
deodorant,
instead of that other stuff, man.
yeah,
Right.
they have natural deodorant, and
Right.
I'm all for natural stuff. Like, remember they used to have that deodorant. It's called Rock. It was like, it looked like a rock, a crystal rock, but it was
Uh,
blue. And it was like, oh, okay, cool. And now they have the stuff called Harry's, and I'm just gonna say be careful because natural deodorant is not for everybody.
exactly. Yeah. Some of y'all
And
need that. Some of y'all need that tough acting to acting up in that
I'm
line.
saying,
Yup.
And it's because y'all ain't stopped eating all that meat and
yeah, you
that
sweat
flesh.
out everything
And
that's in you.
Yeah.
yeah, the death is inside of your body because you're not using the bathroom every day.
Yeah,
That's what I learned in health and life coach class, man, that we have to have a colorful plate and it needs more color than meat. You have to have more
Right.
color than meat on your plate. Me, if you really want to know, I'll eat some cauliflower. I'll fry me some cauliflower and bake some cauliflower. I do a lot of mushrooms, but like they got this taco spot over here in Wynwood, man. I eat cauliflower tacos, plankton tacos, and I'm
Mm.
telling you, boy, you after you eat them, you full.
and
They got
it's so good.
oh my god,
Mm.
I was never a big fan of cauliflower. Then I was trying to come off meat, and they have like buffalo wings. So then they'll do buffalo cauliflower, just like
right?
cauliflower. They fry it,
Wow.
toss in the buffalo sauce. I'm like, yo,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Then when I do my
Wow.
girl meal prep, cauliflower rice. Then I'll
yeah,
saute some veggies
Mm-hmm.
and some type of protein like chicken or either roasted chicken most of the time or like ground beef. And so I do her meal prep. But like, yo, this cauliflower tastes good. Then they
yeah.
have
It do,
cauliflower
Yeah.
pizza.
it do, man. I'm telling you, that's my new go-to whenever I just want something quick.
Yeah, you was the
You know what
reason
I'm
I tried
saying?
that
Mm-hmm.
plant-based meat because I have people on the food truck like they'll come and orders like you having any vegan burgers. I'm like, okay, because you think about vegan food, you like, yeah, whatever. You want some grass, but it's
Yeah,
like,
Mm-hmm.
I tried the stuff and it's like I tried the plant-based meatballs. Stuff tastes good.
yeah,
The meatballs, the burgers, like, yeah,
yeah. Yeah, I got the mushroom burgers that I be eating now. That's got what's the lion's mane?
yeah,
The
oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
lion's mane burgers. Yeah, it has a couple of more ingredients in it,
mm,
but like my little cousin says, shit, you just go get you a lion's mane mushroom by itself and just go ahead and fry that instead.
yeah,
But I'm
and it
like,
tastes like
that's
meat.
right. See, but it's
Wow.
like $7 for one mushroom, and it ain't that big.
Yeah, and I
Mm.
the capsules and the powder and stuff that you can use, like stuff is good. I take these mushrooms called Genius mushrooms. It has like the reishi, lion's mane, all the main mushrooms in there, and it's like, man, that stuff. I'm not gonna say it give you a buzz, but it's like it makes you alert. Kind of like if you don't take Adderall, but then you just have something that makes you alert because all these healthy mushrooms going into your body and working correctly. It's like you're good.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. We have to really start paying attention to that type of stuff, man, because it's just the fact that big pharma is starting to be exposed. Now we don't tell them what they're gonna do. We don't know how Bill Gates his farm is going to farm, and you got a lot of evil people. Excuse me, you got a lot of evil people that just really don't care about people. They care
Yeah.
about money.
Yeah,
And that
you're
is the
right.
Yeah.
most
That's true.
dangerous person, that's the most dangerous person you can be around is a person who care more about money than people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the whole
True.
thing with that they had with aspirin. Like, I want to say like it was maybe like in early 2000s or maybe like
Mhm.
1990 something. But anyways, they was including fentanyl and aspirin
Mm.
because the guy, his daughter ended up dying like from the doctors or whatever, and the medicine they prescribed.
Mm-hmm.
So he was working in that thing, and he took some of the aspirins, and he just mixed fentanyl and stuff with that. So we got to be careful with
Wow.
the medicines that we take now, or that they have out now.
Right.
They have more defects and like more downfalls. That okay,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, you may have this,
That's
this,
true.
this, and this, and this, including debt. I'm just trying to get rid of the
Right.
Yeah.
headache.
I'm just trying to get this headache off of me, man.
Yeah,
Somebody gotta die. Wow. But here's
That's
the
true.
MAD, the moderate Alzheimer's disease. This is the middle stages to where
Mm-hmm.
confusion now sets in, which affects on how the patient functions. and they need help or supervision. They need safety, and self-care is a major concern. The patients can wonder, judgment is lapsed, mental instability. They get angry because they can't figure things out. They get anxiety because things are
Mm-hmm.
taking too long, and they start hallucinating when things are just not, and they're fuzzy in their brain. So we have to
Yep.
really start, look at all of these type of symptoms. So able to move around and engage in simple activities, but must be looked upon, must be watched and monitored.
Right.
And then intense time for caregiving. And this middle stage is the longest stage of Alzheimer's at all. I mean, for all people who do contract it. So these are some things right here that really would bring awareness to what whoever it is that has the disease, because you're going to see that they're confused in their steps. You know what I'm saying? You're
Mm-hmm.
going to see if they need help or not. You're going to see if they need a supervision. You're going to have to definitely watch them if they start to wander off, if they start bad judgment, or if they just don't make a judgment on anything. You know what I'm saying? So we have to really watch our parents, watch our elders. We have to watch people who we say we love. That's why I tell people I'm not up into the love thing. I'm up into the loyalty thing. If you're
Right.
loyal, if you're a loyal person, you'll get way more out of me than a person you saw my love, because I done seen love kill people.
Right.
I done seen love pull
Yep.
a gun in somebody. My uncle got shot in the head because his baby mama said she loved him. He got killed by his own child's
Yes.
mother. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to realize that love, man, love is something you gotta stay away from,
And now they have that
because
Yep.
graveyard love.
loyalty, yeah, that graveyard love is something I don't want to be a part of, you know.
Right.
But that loyalty, and people are going to be loyal to you because not what you do for them, but how you treat them, and how you respond to their needs, and how you react to their wants. And that's why people are
Right.
loyal to you. And some people are loyal to the wrong people too. Now you can be
Right.
there.
That's true. Yep. For real.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, because loyalty and love, I mean, it goes beyond blood. Some people, they love you. Like, the only reason I love you is because you're my son.
Yeah. Mm.
Like, it's just wild.
And you definitely can't depend on love either, because
No,
some people will love you
No.
today. Some people will love you today
Hate
and they
you tomorrow.
happy. Tomorrow they I don't even like that.
yeah.
It's like, what?
They can say
Yeah.
I
How
love
did
you.
that happen?
They can say I love you and they're
Because
going to sleep with somebody else.
Right.
yeah.
That part.
Because love is
Yeah.
just an emotion.
Yeah.
It's all it
Yeah.
is.
And
It changes just like the seasons.
it changes with the seasons, man. So we have to really start understanding the words that we're speaking. It's like I was just
Yeah.
doing a live just before the show about silence, the power of silence, man. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of us don't realize if you're not gonna have nothing valuable to say, really just be quiet.
Yeah. For real.
Some things just don't really need to be said. Sometimes you just really need to just chill and be like, you know what? I ain't got too much to say today. And
Yeah.
be cool. Be just relax. And it's like your words are more powerful and valuable than anything. So it's like you're
Yeah.
dealing with somebody with this type of disease right here. That's why you should always make them laugh, always keep them in the learning stages. Like I say, you do the crossword puzzles with your grandparents. You do the Scrabble boards. You know, uh,
Play cards
cross.
with them. Bingo.
Huh?
Stuff. Anything. They're playing
Right.
cards. Bingo. Playing
Yeah.
rummy. Stuff like that is going to make them think. And they're having
Yeah.
fun at the same time.
Yeah. That's why you have a lot of elder people at the bingo hall
Yeah.
winning
For
money.
real.
Yeah.
They up there winning. They like bingo. G5, goddamn it. I got bingo. Give me my money.
Yeah. Gotta walk in, hobbling up there to get their money.
Done use the
Happy as
store
hell.
to get in. As soon as they get that bingo, they walking up there. Hey, I'm coming to get it.
Mm,
Yeah. They don't need the
yeah,
walker all of a sudden. Grandma, I
right.
thought you were hurt. No, baby, that money calling. I gotta go. I gotta
Mm,
go.
sure that. We got Did you touch on the last one, severe Alzheimer's?
I'm not sure. Go ahead. You can
All
give.
right. Yeah, severe Alzheimer's is a loss of speech, mobility, and the ability to care for oneself. So that's what it's getting. That's what you get into the dementia stage. Also, there you basically need care. You need a caregiver to take care of you,
Well,
and
yeah,
that's it. That's the five different stages of Alzheimer's.
yeah. And they were
And
saying
then,
that you having issues with swallowing.
hmm
So that right there is
yeah,
that right there is like crazy, man. Just think about you forgot how to swallow your food, bro. Damn.
yeah. Forget
That's the
about
issue.
breathing. It's all kind of
Forget how
stuff.
to breathe. And it's like
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
like
Hey man, that shit happened to me one time for real.
Yeah.
really?
Forgetting to breathe. Yeah,
Yeah.
when my daughter was born, I'm sitting in the damn delivery room. I'm there watching, and they gave her mother an epidural where they put the needle in the spine, and
Yeah.
I'm watching it. All of a sudden, I got lightheaded because I'm watching this shit, and I actually forgot to breathe. It was like,
Wow.
yo, you gotta go, man. I started to get dizzy, wobbling. It's like, yo, what's up? I didn't even take a breath. I was so into what was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Damn.
crazy, but it happens. And I ain't have dementia or Alzheimer's. I was in my 30s. I was 32 when that shit happened, but hey,
Yeah. Damn.
it's crazy, but
How old were you
Nah,
when you
man,
started
it's
dementia?
all kind of stuff.
I had a light stroke back in 2015 to where my
No
whole
shit.
face was, yeah, my left side of my face was sagging, man. Just like it was just like everything just went down. And then I looked in the mirror and I was like, what the hell going on? What the helly? What the hell you on?
Hmm.
So my face was
You know,
sagging, and then what I read about, it was a stress. It's stress. It was some stress that was involved because I was in a situation with a young lady that I wasn't used to the way that this
hmm
woman was acting. It's like I was stressed out because you're trying to do the best to try to understand somebody, but then it's like, nah, I can't even stay here no more. It's time for me to move
so
on. And a lot of people don't realize, man, when a person is doing inner work and they just can't be around certain things, bro. It's certain
yeah,
things that you just cannot be around, and it messes with your mindset. It's like, wait a minute, and your body just your body starts reacting to toxicity
right,
of the wrong information, and people feel like I'm right. It's like, man, you're not. You're right in your sense, but you're not correct in the correct manner how this thing goes.
Right.
right.
And that's when you leave them alone, you know, and you got to step
For
away.
your
It's
own
like we
sanity.
gotta. Nah, I definitely don't want no issues right now in my life. But we have to realize that everything that we doing should be making us better.
Yeah.
That's why this topic is really important, because once we get to a certain age, like the woman who's 104, or you got the lady 77 who looks like she's 27, you have to
Hmm.
realize these type of things are important now. You can say you can have a high food bill or you can have a high doctor bill, whichever one you choose,
Right.
you know?
That's it.
Because it's like we don't have these conversations enough. So that's why I'm glad we get to talk about these things, once a week. We get to talk about things that's going to help us out to make us better. And then a lot of people don't want to get better. Oh, I'm gonna do it my way, and that's
Mm-hmm.
fine. But at the same time, if I wouldn't feel like a man if I didn't tell you. It's like you giving your child
Right.
some information. You know they doing it the wrong way, but hey man, let me tell you this right here, man. This how this gonna help you down the run. If they listen, if they don't, you did your part as a
You
person,
did
as
your
a
part.
human. I had to
Right.
give you the information.
Right.
Absolutely.
So that's
Hey,
why I
so while
love.
we giving out
Yeah. Go ahead.
while we giving out this information, let's hit these risk factors. Because like you mentioned, the age, and it says that the risk factors is most common is after 65. And it could
Uh,
be genetics, your family history, head injuries, so people that's boxing or playing football, having concussions, stuff like that.
yeah.
Then you have heart health factors, high blood pressure, smoking,
Mm,
diabetes, lifestyle, basically like what you're eating, what you're putting in your body. All
yeah.
these are risk factors for Alzheimer's.
Wow.
And then it says Alzheimer's can't be cured, at least not yet, but there are treatments that help manage the symptoms.
Right.
And it seems like in America, that's pretty much all the doctors do. No matter what kind of disease you have, what kind of ailment, it's always just
Mm,
managing symptoms. But
yeah.
those managing symptoms are actually just making you worse.
Yeah.
But they have medications for Alzheimer's, like Donna with donepezil and memantine. I guess that's what it is. And then another thing would be lifestyle changes, like exercise, changing
Yeah.
up your diet, and mental stimulation, like we were saying, doing stuff to make
Mm,
you think. Go learn something new. Go back to
right.
school. Anything that's going to cause you to think, do things
Yeah.
that you haven't been doing in a while,
Yeah.
is going to help you.
Now,
And then
and that's
supportive
real.
care. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
the
they said that
supportive care is
Alzheimer's was
always
actually,
yeah, that's
go
the
ahead.
in-house nurse. Them the nurses and stuff you see
Yeah.
them walking with them people, you know.
Yep.
And that's way important that you get the right one because a lot of these new
Yeah.
nurses, they're not nurturing. They're just there for a check. So if you just got
Yeah.
somebody who's looking at your parent for a check, it's like, nah, I don't want you around my mom. I don't want you around my
No.
granny. You know, I don't want your around my granddad or my dad because you are here only for a check. You're not loving this job. You know, you don't want to see the benefits later on in life. You just want your check today. And so when
Yeah.
somebody is taking care of somebody with Alzheimer's or even dementia, they can't be about money based. They have to really care for that person because they're really gonna be with them people every single day, even if it's nothing
Yeah.
but for 4 hours or for 3 hours out of the day. At least when
Right.
they do interact with them, let them be in a state to where at least my grandmother will be happy, or my
Hmm.
granddaddy he'll be smiling, or you know what I'm saying. You have to have these type of people around them, you know, who are going to bring smiles to their face. And
Yeah.
we have
Right.
nowadays, we have nurses that just don't care. They just want, man, I can't wait to get my
Right.
check. It's like, get out of here, man.
And then you have to be careful who you have watching over because they have nurses. Some of them act like they care, but then once for one, they're there for the check. Two, some of these people be tricking. I mean,
Hmm.
nurses, okay. Your grandfather in the hospital or your dad in the hospital, he 85 years old. He got a nurse that's like 22, fresh out of school, wearing tight yeast infected yoga pants because they, babe, I'm gonna put you in a wheel. Then you see it all the
Mm.
time on the news where they have like people in the nursing homes, like the nurses or whoever those people are, the healthcare professionals, they be
Yeah,
abusing
Hmm.
those people.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now that's what I was seeing. That's what I was seeing a lot
Yeah.
of the
Then
abuse of. Yeah,
they had one case I want to say it was in New York. One of the guys that was in there, he was running up. a prostitution ring in a nursing home.
Wow.
What?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's.
Wow.
I'm gonna send y'all the link, but it's like, man, this dude,
Man.
some people was getting hit up in the nursing home. I'm like, yo,
Wow.
Never
totally
heard of
go.
that.
Yeah, I mean, when my parents do get of age like that, before putting them in the nursing home, I'll probably implement like a mother-in-law suite or something.
Right.
Mm.
You know, because they feel better when they at the house, man. They feel better when they're around their everyday people. And then until it gets to
Right.
the stages where they don't remember you, but even in that stage, you can still put big old pieces of paper up to where they can read that, or they
Yeah,
can see these flashcards, or it's always something. And then I was looking at some Chinese remedies to where it's like you rubbing your hand on certain parts of your hand, it brings back memory.
Mhm.
If you do things like this, you got your
yeah,
fingers, you got to,
Yeah.
and then
The
what is another
dexterity
one? It was
for
like you
pen.
do. I think you do something like this. You do this.
yeah, because it stretches it's a certain muscle, but it's like it kind of triggers and make you remember
Right.
stuff. That's
Yeah, you're
why.
doing these little
Mhm.
finger and hand exercises.
Yeah,
I think these two right here, you do these two. I was reading it, and then I had sent it to my friend that where she could send it to her when I practice with her grandmother with it. And it was just like, man, it was so beneficial
hmm?
to where it's the little things that we don't even pay attention to. We're so busy looking at social media. We're so busy looking at other people's business or the news or whatever. It's like we're not even looking within to try to do better
Right.
for us as we get older.
Right.
As we get younger. Let me say that because I don't believe in getting older because you've never been a new age, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm on that 19
Mhm.
keys
Mhm.
thinking.
I know I
You
had
know, you
school where, I mean, granted having ADHD, so it's like it was it was kind of hard for me to learn that dyslexia, whatever. But I would
yeah,
remember stuff because I would keep an ink pen with me. And it's like I'll just be clicking because professor talking and everything. I'm just clicking, clicking. It was getting on people's nerves, but whatever.
right,
So I'll do it, whatever. But it's like I would just snap, and it's like that'll cause me to remember certain things because
right.
like
Mhm.
I can verbatim, like just okay, spit out a lot of answers and stuff. So there's different things. I
Mhm.
mean, to me, to everyone, there's a cure for everything.
Yeah, it is.
Like you said, they babysit it, they give you medicine because it's all a money grab for them.
Oh yeah,
So you have
Yeah.
this right here. You can either pay to have the surgery done, pay to have this operation completed, or we can go ahead and, you know,
and then what I don't understand is the people who read the Bible.
yeah,
It speaks about it in the Bible.
yeah, absolutely.
You eat the fruit off the trees, and then you take the herbs to heal your body. It says it in the book.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You take the herbs to heal your body, but you eat the fruit. And it's
Yeah.
just like, I'm just trying to figure out what parts of the book do people be reading.
Yeah. They
When it's
read the parts
time,
that benefit them.
when
Yeah.
it's time for you to eat healthy, it's like, oh no, I'm God fearing. I know the Bible.
Right.
But you didn't read
Yeah.
about the part that said eat the fruit? Did you
Yeah.
ain't read that?
Yeah.
Well, now they got this new restaurant I want to try out. What?
Nah, man. Like
And
the doctors I used to date
Wow.
are like they told me it was all about residuals. Because if I
yeah.
can just,
Yeah.
feed you this medicine, and it's like, okay, so you're going to come to me every 30, 60, or 90 days.
Yeah, it
So it's
just
like, okay,
subdues.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all it does is subdue it. It'll
Yeah.
just make it go. That's why they give you a cough suppressant.
hmm
They don't give you a
Mhm.
coughing cure. They don't give you nothing to cure the cough. They just hide the cough.
Yeah. They want you to come
You
back.
Yeah.
know, you got to come back for another refill. How did that work for you? Oh, it did good. I really needed that. Oh, really?
Mhm.
Okay, well, let me prescribe you another one. Let me get you some more.
And then they give you the little placebo pills.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Let
And
me
you
fool
still
you.
talking about it's working. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Let
these
me
little
fool
sugar
you.
tablets.
Wow. And that's the time that we own, man. We got to realize that you have people out here in this world who just like we say want to check, and then you have people out here in this world
Yeah.
who want to help you. It's like I like Dr. Bobby Price because he was already a doctor, he practitioner, and then all of a sudden he said, "Nah, you know what?" He went to Japan for like 2 or 3 years, studied the culture,
Mhm.
and came back to America. Then he quit. He quit being a real doctor and started being a holistic doctor.
Yeah.
And
Right.
he got some products. Yeah, they really work too. They
You ever
really
notice
work.
how
Okay.
long those people live for?
Hmm?
Yep.
Like
Yep.
how Chinese, Japanese, like how long those people be living for? Like old as hell, walking around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Their diet is different.
they
Yeah.
practice they practice rituals every day to where their
Yeah.
routines keep them in shape. Their routines keep them healthy. They drink more teas. They eat more fish and whatnot. Not supposed to eat the fish, but they drink more teas. The herbs that they have
Yeah,
in their garden is keeping them
Right.
alive.
yeah.
You know.
But you go out there, they have like I was never a big fan of tea, but then like drinking the green teas and like the different herbal teas.
Right.
Okay, that's great,
Mhm.
especially out there. What they have out here? Oh, I want that southern sweet tea. Oh, you talking
Right.
about the diabetic
Yeah.
tea? Oh,
The diabetic tea. Give me the
Yeah.
diabetic tea. That's what they said.
yeah, this shit all syrupy, like, bruh.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
That's
so
why I quit
sweet you
drinking
have
that
to
sweet.
mix it.
Yeah, I quit drinking sweet tea, man. I had went to a
Yeah.
place, man. The tea was so sweet that I had to pour it in another glass and pour water in that
You
glass
had to
to
cut it with
dilute it.
water.
Yeah. Hey, I got to the point I would put half sweet tea and half unsweetened just
Yeah,
to cut the sugar in it.
they
Because
put
the sweet tea
sugar
in the
in it.
South, whoo,
Yeah,
And now
they
they
put
have
sugar.
twisted tea.
Uh-uh. I
the
don't want none
twisted
of
tea was
that.
pretty good though.
Huh? Oh, the
That
twisted tea?
twisted tea was pretty good. Yeah, drink enough of it, it get you twisted.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they can have that. I don't know
Mm.
twister. Yeah. If y'all gonna put alcohol with the tea, I don't even want it, man. You just messed up my whole plan. Yeah, I didn't plan on this.
Yo,
I did not plan on this.
Hmm.
Nah, that's some crazy stuff. But man, um, Alzheimer's though, man, that's a serious thing that we really do have to get back to ourselves so we can start helping our parents and grandparents. And I know, like I said, you will become a patient if you don't get control of what you need to be in control of.
right.
A lot of people just don't realize that you sitting around with this person every day, all day, and all you doing is you done shut your life down. Your whole world is shut down, but you've opened yourself to theirs.
Yeah.
And then if you're not cognitive of anything that's going on, now you're going to be a part of a victimized mindset. Because ain't
Right.
nobody coming to save you because you were
Nope.
sent in there to do one job: take care of grandma. Take care of grandma. All right, I'm gonna take care of grandmama. But then now you done lost yourself because you taking care of grandma because
Yeah.
grandmama is now she's lost her mind. So
Hmm.
we have to be mindful, y'all. Let's all work together on this one. Within our households, within our, the people who are close to us and all of that. But we really should just really, be real mindful of playing board games with your parents, playing board games with your grandparents. I wish I could do a puzzle with my mama right now. Man,
Hmm.
go out and play some golf with my daddy. But you can't do that when you just live in your life and you're not even concerned about your parents' life. You're not concerned that they're getting
Right.
older. You're not concerning yourself with what they're feeling and how they're feeling because all their friends done died already. And they
Yeah.
scared.
Yeah,
You
because
know
they
what I'm
outlived
saying?
all their friends.
Yeah. You gotta
Mhm.
realize they nervous now. They like, well, damn, yeah. Betty Jean died. But grandmama, who the hell
Mhm.
was we? Mary
That's what
Ann
happened with
wasn't
Betty
one
White.
of we, baby.
Betty
Oh,
White
grandmama,
outlived
come
all her
on.
friends.
Yeah, you got all your partners gone. Yeah, I'm just waiting on my day. So that's another
Yeah,
thing. You got people just waiting around to die, bro, to
yeah.
see if it's real or not. I don't even know if death is real. Let me go. I'm gonna wait it out. Yeah, I'm gonna see. I'm gonna look back at. It's like what?
Yeah. That's
Live
why
your
you see
life
these
until
people.
it comes.
Yeah, you see some of these people
Wow.
like they older, look like they should have been retired, and most of them have, but
Yeah,
then they get a part-time job or something like at Walmart checking receipts because they feel that if they stop moving, they're gonna
Right.
pass because that's
yeah.
what happened to
Yeah,
their friend.
that's
Like,
me. Yeah, I'd
yeah,
be in the gym.
man,
Boy, I'm telling you, I'd be all over that thing like hammer, hammer.
yeah. And it's like skydiving. Like first time I went, 21. They had this dude. He had to be like 75 and jumping out of
Yeah,
plane.
Hmm.
Like, bro,
yeah.
that's what. Yeah,
And you gotta love that about a person who's I was in the gym, the guy just turned 90.
Hmm.
He had his balloons and everything, and everybody was going up to him. I knew he was an older dude, but I didn't know he was no 90. I'm like, what?
Right.
He's walking, he lifts his little weights, he do his thing, and he looked good. Latin dude, Spanish guy.
yeah,
Hmm.
Yeah, he looked real good, man. And it's a blessing to even be in the presence of someone who's that age and who's still outside at the gym. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's beautiful.
Like,
It makes you
like
want to work out even harder.
yeah.
Yep.
My girl. That's why we'll be back in New York next month because her her grandmother turned at 102.
Wow.
Wow.
So it's like still remember
That's
the
a
name
lifetime.
Yeah. Two lifetimes. Man.
for real.
Wow.
'Cause I'm like, man, do I even want a little bit at all? Like, I
I
do, but
do.
I'm like, man, just imagine everything that she
Done
saw in
seen
her life.
twice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
exactly.
done
What
Seen
seen
it
she
all of
twice.
this.
seen?
You done seen all of this life by 2 to 3 times. You
Yeah,
seen it
Yeah.
turn right full circle.
yeah, exactly. Because my grandfather, God rest his soul, he his sister let her be 101. He just wants to let her be 100. And I mean,
Hmm.
he did. I mean, he passed like a couple of months afterwards, but I mean, country raised, like I'm talking about
Yeah.
driving a tractor. So he done seen slavery. He was one of the first blacks to have a car in a country town that was in.
Damn.
He was just
Hmm.
driving. I mean, smoked cigars every day. So when he got older, it's like, just out of habit. People are like, put the cigar in their mouth, don't even light it. Just driving around on the tractor, like, man, he can't hear nobody. This 70 acres. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, he's out
Hmm.
there doing his thing. But then
Yeah.
one time,
What he gonna run into?
yeah,
Yeah, what he gonna run into all this land? He can't
yeah,
run into a tree.
Right. Wow.
Oh man, you gotta love that type of business. That's why I say, bro, I gotta take care of myself so I can live to be that old,
yeah.
to be that young. I gotta live to be that young. I keep saying it the wrong way.
Because I know, like, working in the restaurant industry, I mean, I was working with people like, I'm in my 40s, yeah, but I'm working with people like half my age and I'm out working them. They're like, man, you can't be 42. I'm like, dog, yeah. Like, what you do? I'm like, a lot of sex and drink vodka. I joke around. But I'm like, yo, like,
That'll
y'all
work.
dying. The younger generation is dying faster than the older people.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true, man. And it's a sad case, man, because um I just feel like the parents ain't reaching out enough, ain't trying hard enough. Teenagers gonna be teenagers.
Yeah,
But if
Hmm.
if I'm not if I'm not giving that extra effort to make this child understand, you know, I don't feel like I did my part, man.
you're right.
But man, yeah, it's definitely been a great topic, man. I hope those who are dealing with this ailment get the right proper care, and that, like we said, start playing puzzles with your grandparents, or start playing word games with them, board games, or if it's nothing else, just hey man, just talk their head off.
Yeah.
But come on, Dr. Oz, I know you got something good for us.
Now I just want to say something that the woman I was telling you about, who husband had dementia, she just said, when something bad happens, smile for 5 seconds. Because I mean, something about smiling, it triggers something in your mind, and it's like, okay, you'll still be upset, but because being stressed and things like that, it wears on your body. So it's like
Yeah.
people all the time, like, why don't you get upset? Like, why don't you get mad? I'm like, I do, but
I
I just don't
can't.
let it bother me to the fact, like, man, I'm not gonna kill
Yeah, I
myself just
can't
by
afford to get
being real.
mad. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's for real. Mr.
They
Mike,
don't
what you
help
got
you.
for us?
All I can say is, as far as this as Alzheimer's go, start eating those leafy green vegetables, the fruits, fatty fish like salmon and blueberries, stuff like that. That's going to help you. Stay away from that processed food at all costs, or as much as you possibly can, because it does contribute to this disease.
What you said? Stay away from BBLs. Oh.
Man, out of control. But man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in, and this is going to be another great topic next week. We definitely touched some good subjects, touched some good pointers on here. Mike gave you the risk
Yeah.
factors. I gave you the stages, and y'all go back and look at this show, man, and hopefully this can help somebody in your family. Maybe they may not get it because you started doing puzzles with them. They may not get it because you did the hand exercises with them.
Yeah.
hmm
So we just have to look out for that, and then at the same time we have to just stay mindful of and aware of what they putting inside of our bodies. That's all I got for you. Until the next week, y'all. Let's do this,
Peace.
man.
Yes, sir. Later.
Peace.
Peace.